I'm Margaret Chen, 78 years old, and for 3 years I watched my son's wife, Jessica, humiliate me online for views. She filmed me without permission, mocked my accent, called me a burden, and turned my private struggles into viral content for her 3 million followers. She made thousands of dollars monetizing videos of me falling, forgetting things, and struggling with technology. When I begged her to stop, she laughed and said I should be grateful for the exposure. What Jessica didn't know was that before I retired, I spent 35 years as an intellectual property attorney specializing in privacy rights and digital media law. This is how I used every law I knew to destroy her influencer career and take everything she built. Subscribe now. Hit that bell so you never miss revenge stories like this. My name is Margaret Chen. I'm 78 years old, originally from Taiwan, and I've lived in California for 52 years. 3 years ago, my son Daniel married Jessica, a 29-year-old aspiring social media influencer with about 50,000 followers at the time. When Daniel asked if I would move in with them to help with childcare for their newborn daughter Emma, I agreed immediately. I loved my granddaughter and wanted to be part of her life. What I didn't realize was that Jessica saw me as content, not family. Within 2 weeks of moving in, she started filming me constantly. At first, I thought she was just taking family videos, but then I discovered she was posting everything to her TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube channels. Videos of me cooking traditional Taiwanese food with captions like, "When your MIL doesn't understand American kitchens." Videos of me struggling to use their smart home system with laughing emojis. Videos of me mispronouncing English words with her mocking voiceover. The worst part was that these videos went viral. Jessica's follower count exploded. Within 6 months, she had 3 million followers across platforms. Brands started sponsoring her content. She was making $15,000 per month from ads and sponsorships, mostly from videos featuring me without my knowledge or consent. I confronted her after I found a video where she'd filmed me falling in the bathroom. I wasn't hurt badly, just bruised, but she'd posted it with the caption, "MIL down. Should I help or keep filming?" The video had 2 million views and thousands of comments mocking me. "Jessica, you need to take that video down. I didn't give you permission to film me, especially in a private moment like that." She laughed. "Margaret, it's just funny content. People love you. You're going viral. Most old people would be thrilled to be internet famous." I don't want to be internet famous. I want privacy and respect. "Well, you live in my house now. If you don't like it, you can leave. But honestly, you should be grateful. I'm making you relevant." I went to Daniel, hoping he would support me. He was uncomfortable, but ultimately sided with his wife. "Mom, I know it's weird, but Jessica's income from this pays our mortgage. We need the money. Can you just deal with it for a while?" I felt betrayed, but I didn't leave. I loved Emma, and I believed I could find another way to handle this situation. What Jessica and Daniel didn't know was that before I retired 15 years ago, I spent 35 years as an intellectual property attorney specializing in privacy rights, digital media law, and right of publicity cases. I'd handled some of the biggest privacy invasion cases in California during the early internet era. I knew exactly what laws Jessica was violating, and I knew how to use them. I started documenting everything. Every video Jessica posted featuring me, I saved with timestamps and view counts. Every sponsored post where my image appeared, I cataloged with the brand name and estimated earnings. Every comment section where people mocked my age, accent, or appearance, I screenshot. I was building a legal case, and Jessica had no idea. California has some of the strongest privacy and right of publicity laws in the country. Jessica was violating multiple statutes. First, she was filming me in private areas of the home where I had a reasonable expectation of privacy, including bathrooms and my bedroom. Second, she was using my image and likeness for commercial purposes without my written consent, violating my right of publicity. Third, she was causing me emotional distress by publicly humiliating me for profit. Fourth, many of her videos portrayed me in a false light, editing footage to make me look incompetent or foolish. After 3 months of documentation, I contacted my former law firm. They were thrilled to take the case. "Margaret, this is a slam dunk. She's violated at least 6 different statutes. We can pursue criminal charges for invasion of privacy and civil damages for right of publicity violations. Based on her documented earnings, we're looking at potentially $500,000 in damages." We sent Jessica a cease and desist letter demanding she remove all content featuring me and pay damages. She ignored it. She actually posted the letter on her Instagram story with the caption, "MIL is big mad LOL, lawyer up grandma." That was her biggest mistake. We filed a lawsuit in California Superior Court for invasion of privacy, violation of right of publicity, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and unjust enrichment. We also filed complaints with every platform she used, citing terms of service violations for posting content featuring identifiable individuals without consent. The discovery phase was brutal for Jessica. Her lawyers had to turn over all her financial records, showing she'd made over $400,000 in the past year primarily from content featuring me. They had to produce every video, photo, and post where I appeared. The evidence was overwhelming. We also deposed Jessica. Under oath, she admitted she knew I'd asked her to stop filming me. She admitted she never obtained written consent. She admitted the content was her primary income source. She admitted editing videos to make me look foolish because that's what gets engagement. Her lawyer tried to argue fair use and newsworthiness, claiming Jessica was documenting real family life. My attorneys destroyed that argument. Your Honor, this isn't documentary journalism. This is commercial exploitation of an elderly woman's image without consent for profit. The defendant made nearly $500,000 mocking her mother-in-law's age, accent, and private struggles. During the trial, we showed the jury some of Jessica's worst videos. One showed me crying after I'd received news that my sister in Taiwan had died, with Jessica's voiceover saying, "MIL is being dramatic again." Another showed me undressed in my bedroom, filmed through a crack in the door, with Jessica making jokes about elderly bodies. The jury was visibly disgusted. I also testified about the emotional impact. I came to this country 52 years ago with nothing. I worked my entire life, put myself through law school, built a career helping people protect their privacy and dignity. Then my own daughter-in-law treated me like a circus animal for internet points. She filmed me in my most vulnerable moments and sold them to strangers. She turned my grandchild's home into a place where I felt constantly watched and mocked. The jury deliberated for 4 hours. They found Jessica liable on all counts and awarded me $675,000 in damages, including $400,000 in actual damages based on her earnings from content featuring me, $200,000 in emotional distress damages, and $75,000 in punitive damages. But the money was just the beginning. As part of the judgment, Jessica was ordered to remove all content featuring me from every platform. When she failed to comply within the court-ordered 48 hours, the platforms began removing it themselves based on our legal notices. Her TikTok account was suspended for terms of service violations. Her Instagram was demonetized. Her YouTube channel received multiple strikes and lost partnership status. Without the content that had made her famous, Jessica's follower count collapsed. Brands dropped their sponsorship deals when they realized they'd been profiting from content that violated privacy laws. Within 3 months, she'd lost 2 million followers and all her income. The aftermath destroyed her marriage. Daniel finally understood what his mother had endured and filed for divorce, getting primary custody of Emma. Jessica had to sell her designer clothes and handbags to pay her legal bills. She tried to rebuild her social media presence, but every time she posted, people would comment, "Isn't this the woman who exploited her mother-in-law?" Her reputation was ruined. I used part of the settlement money to establish a legal fund helping elderly people who've been exploited online by family members. It's more common than people realize. Adult children and grandchildren filming elderly relatives without consent, monetizing their struggles with aging, technology, or health issues. I want to help others fight back the way I did. Jessica tried to appeal the judgment, claiming the award was excessive. The appellate court not only upheld the judgment but increased it by another $50,000 to cover my appellate legal fees. She'll be paying me for years. I still see Emma regularly. Daniel and I have joint custody when he's at work, but now I watch her at my own apartment where there are no cameras and no one mocking me for clicks. Emma is 3 now, and I'm teaching her Mandarin and Taiwanese cooking, the same way I would have taught her in Daniel's house if her mother had respected me. Jessica occasionally posts on social media, but she'll never recover her influencer status. She's working retail now, barely making ends meet. Sometimes she posts bitter comments about how cancel culture destroyed her career, but the truth is simpler. She exploited an elderly woman for profit, and that woman happened to have 35 years of experience in the exact area of law she was violating. People sometimes ask if I feel guilty about destroying Jessica's career and income. The answer is no. She filmed me in my bathroom after I fell. She mocked my accent to millions of strangers. She sold my dignity and privacy for advertising dollars. She chose to build her empire on my humiliation, and I chose to use every legal tool I had to tear it down. I'm 78 years old. I'm a retired intellectual property attorney. I'm a grandmother who loves her granddaughter. And I'm a woman who taught her daughter-in-law that some old people know exactly how to fight back, and we don't need social media to do it. We just need the law, patience, and 35 years of legal expertise. Jessica thought my age made me powerless. She learned that age can mean experience, knowledge, and the ability to destroy someone completely within the boundaries of the law. That's a lesson she'll never forget, and one that cost her everything. The end.